What's up, Beats? We're live.
I've arrived.
Don't say bad things about people. They can hear you. My plan was to try and talk to a lot of people about what they think about the Christmas event. And I'll be honest, I'm not sad that the Medium article came out. I'm very happy that it did. But I was like hoping we could get this in before the article came out, or that the article wouldn't say that much, so we could really spin the yarn, speculate a lot. But like, there's a lot of known stuff now.
Yeah, and I mean, there's still so many people asking questions about like, wait, what? And I'm just going with, look, you just need to hunt, find candy canes, and then go from there. You're going to spend candy canes to get...
candy canes are currency, basically, right? I mean, it's just
become the currency for the event.
You know, maybe in the future they'll have another use, but right now they're just used for buying construction blueprints. Oh, I forgot. Guys, I forgot my Christmas hat. Got to get in the spirit. I got my reindeer in game. I got my reindeer Christmas hat. But what do you think about the treasure chest at the end of the quest line?
Well, what do I think it is?
Yeah, I guess. Or what do you think about it in general? But more specifically, yeah, what do you think's in it?
So obviously, it's always great to put a little Easter egg at the end, like, you know, a treasure at the end of a hunt. So,
sure.
I like that they went ahead and revealed the epic as the gingerbread, because I guess people were nailing it, like we kind of knew.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they said it was a food, right? Like that was all we knew.
He said it was. He was getting hungry looking at it.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
So you know,
kind of gave it away.
That's the easiest one I could think of. Like I said, maybe a fruitcake, but a gingerbread makes no sense. So I don't know. I'm gonna say it's a different kind of either resource or blueprint. I can't imagine doing another blueprint, but
yeah. Somebody said an NFT, and
Ralph Macchio.
Maybe it's a Christmas NFT. No, but I mean, I think that's a really good guess. Now that they have the ability
the
to
seal
do
is broken on NFT.
Right. It's like, aren't they just
going
to
it anytime?
Yeah, and it costs them nothing, right? I mean, if they give out keys, that's keys that are out in the economy eventually that get spent, and that costs them crypto, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
So if they could put in an NFT or a resource or a blueprint, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff they can put in that's not keys. So I'm supposing it's not keys and it's not crypto. It's like a new epic blueprint, which I think they probably would have. Like during Halloween, they told us there was 2 epic blueprints.
Right.
So I don't think they're gonna sneak another epic in. But
that's why it's so hard to guess. Like you get all this information and you still can't quite get it.
Yeah, I think an NFT is a really good guess.
And then I've seen the other reaction is like a lot of people saying about the red key, like kind of knocking people out of it. Like, oh, I don't want to do this now because it costs a red key. But the counter argument to this specific mechanic seems to be that if anybody around you has a red key, you still have a chance at it. And you don't even have to spend your red key.
Yeah, I mean, it's like previous, Monolith and Cauldron events where you can, a player that's
stays for the whole event.
A very casual player can benefit from their other players in their area. I think it's fair that there's a cost to get the blueprint. And in the past, the cost has been a lot of keys invested by hitting vaults. This time, it's just a little more straightforward. You got to pay the key right into the quest chain. That chain of, you saw the squares chained together, like it's a chain of blocks.
Brainstorm. I think it's a key reward.
Key reward would be nice.
I want to believe it's an NFT or blueprint. Marlov, I like how top players can help out casual players. Let's see how it plays out. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I mean,
and vice versa.
I think in the future, and Illusion Weaver even confirmed that this would have been nice, if they had the buy it now function in place prior to this. But imagine, you and I and a couple other people here, we don't quite have enough keys to buy, or we don't have a red key, but I could buy it now something from you
to make sure that it gets to you.
Right. We as a group of 3 or 4 people can get all their keys funneled to one guy, and he can be the guy that buys the epic tree. And
I mean, you're right at the verge of just giving resources to each other. So, I mean, is the buy it now just another stepping stone to that? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's basically what you're doing with the buy it now thing sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that was the idea. Like, you could buy it now, one resin from me for, 300 keys. We could pool our keys that
Get them all
way.
together
And then, you buy the epic tree, and obviously me and you and whoever else is playing in our area can all benefit. Thankfully, I mean, you and I can both afford an epic tree.
Right.
I can't yet, but I'll get there.
You can get to the red.
I'm close. I'm close enough that it's not a big deal, but
So yeah, and have an extra yellow to make your rare tree too.
yeah.
That's where it gets like, all right, there's a little bit more to just the red. People say red. Well, you need the green and the yellow. And
Yeah, you need
and open all the vaults to get
right.
there.
You need 1,110 keys, and then how many candy canes drop from vaults?
Right. It seems to be 10, 25, or 50.
Is that it?
What?
10, 25, or 50? Oh, you're saying
No, I mean,
it's
like,
one of those
how
numbers.
how
I thought you were
it
saying it
drops.
was like 10 from blues, 25 from greens.
Oh, no. I just mean like. That's how
Yeah, it
everything
probably
comes
is.
Some fashion that way.
And the number's really irrelevant. It could
Right.
be, you could get 1 million candy canes. If it takes 20 million to unlock the common tree blueprint, then
The ratio is all
exactly. We need to know, and we'll know very quickly what
Yeah.
what the ratio is.
I mean, it's not going to be.
Everybody can then do the math, figure out how many vaults you're going to need to open to get enough resource boxes, to get enough candy canes, and you can very quickly have an idea how many keys this event is going to cost you to get through the whole quest line. I'm thinking, and somebody in chat can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the blueprints dropping from the trees should be a pretty high drop rate, I think.
You mean
Like the
all of them,
cauldrons.
or is it smaller ones?
I think all of them. I mean, I think it's going to be really. I think it's going to be. I guess it's not that. I don't know. I think the candy cane cost to get the epic tree blueprint is going to be so high that epic trees are going to be very rare, very epic, hard to find. So if you do find one, maybe there's a 20% chance that it drops the blueprint. So you really only need it there for 2 or 3 days. Hit it 5 times.
Well, that's the thing. You got to get to that point where you're spending your red fast. So
Yeah.
you've got how many resets to hit it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
challenge.
you get down to the last day. Is it worth spending a red for just 2 chances? And hopefully by then we have an idea what the drop rate is.
Illusion Weaver said yes. December 31st, December 30th. Send it.
Yep.
Harris, any top players want to come to Nebraska? I'm pretty sure nobody here has a red. I don't know what the map looks like out there, but start grinding. I mean, that's what we've been doing this whole time, really, is key hunting left and right.
Well, and you and I each drove several hours to get to an epic cauldron because they were that hard to get.
Yeah.
That player may be in a position where they need to go into Discord servers for places, 4 or 5 hours from them. Expand your hunting ground a little bit. Like I was in Cauldrons lasted for 8 hours, right? So I was in the Maryland server, I was in the New Jersey server, like just keeping an eye out for an epic.
Good go, right?
Yeah. This time Christmas trees don't go away, so you have as much time as you want. You want to drive 3 states
right,
away, you could.
So then it becomes how many times you're going to drive out there for a reset or
Right.
double dip it or whatever. And can we pool them? Like, could you get like 3 epic trees in at least a neighborhood or something like that? So it's not so tedious to go all the way.
Come on, give me wordplay. I'm trying to tap it.
Philly will definitely have at least one, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would guess. Well, we thought that too with the cauldrons, and that didn't happen. Let's get those 2 up
but
there.
I feel like this is more guaranteed. Like if you're just following the quest line.
Getting the tree.
Easier. There's no walkingness. There's no nimbleness.
Yeah, I agree. I think getting the tree should be a little easier. I don't know. I think there's greater cost.
Harris, I'm looking at maybe Kansas City, but it's not super. But I'm not sure it's super feasible for me. I don't know what that means.
Like the drive is too far, probably.
To Kansas City, yeah, that would be tough.
From
Nebraska.
I'm trying to picture a map. That sounds like a far drive, but I guess if you're on the very, very far side of the very, very near side of Nebraska. Okay, those bells are kind of annoying.
Oh my God, Harris says it's about 5.5 hours to Kansas City. You would definitely want to do a reset run there where you're hitting it and hitting it again before you leave.
Yeah.
Hitting 2 shots. But
Yeah.
man, that would be brutal to go
Well,
and not get it.
Towards the end, right, the cauldrons were 50% chance of getting the blueprint. So if you knew the drop rate for epic Christmas trees was only 10%,
right?
Would you do it? I don't know.
Basically at 20%. If you had
Yeah, like that's a lot of driving for almost certainly nothing. But on the other hand,
but you nail it.
And
you
on the
back and you get some Burger King on the way home. No, I don't know. I think it's up to how epic you want this experience to be.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, I know some people have done, like all Riyadh went out and drove an hour and a half or whatever it was and didn't get it, but you got a cool experience. Like no other game makes you do that kind of thing.
But they still got their shot. I mean, he was just as likely to fail it driving 3 hours away with me as he was wherever he drove, and I think he went to New Jersey.
I'm just glad he took a shot because, like I was telling him, once the event ends, you don't get to take that shot.
Yeah,
it's over. So you would always be sitting there thinking, man, what if I would have done it? Yeah,
you don't want to have any what ifs. That's kind of what prompted me to go for the leaderboard run in September, even though I wasn't like fully prepared. I really didn't prepare as much as I should have. It was just like if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. At some point, I just need to do it.
Well, it worked out well.
Yeah, it did. And even if it hadn't, I don't think I would regret doing it. Obviously, I'd be unhappy with the outcome, but sometimes that's just how it goes. So, yeah. Well, we were talking about strategies, you and I, a little bit yesterday. And I'm not sure if this is actually necessary or not, but we were talking about saving a vault, right?
Right.
Imagine you hit all 10 of your user vaults, and then you finally, then you're hitting somebody else's user vaults, and you finally get enough candy canes to buy the next tree blueprint. And now you own the tree blueprint, and to use it, you have to go to one of your user vaults. I assume that it would still work, even if you can't see the user vault, like, if you try and if you go to the right spot and use it, well, because you don't have to click on the user vault. It said in the Medium article, you click on the blueprint in your inventory and use it. So if you're
still gonna have to interact with everything on the screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not worth the risk. Like my gut feeling is that it would work, but I would rather save the vault just in case.
One hit on your candy canes.
Yeah.
To try to get that.
Well, yeah.
I mean, again. Maybe the very first time you just hit them all because you're not going to get enough candy canes in 10 vaults.
True. If you can be reasonably confident that you won't get it in the first 12-hour cycle.
Right.
I don't know that I am though. I might hit 100 vaults that night.
Right. That's the thing. If you go nuts that night and get enough.
Yeah. So I'm going to save one at home so that when I get back from my hunt,
you can plop down your common tree.
Right. And so when you wake up in the morning. It starts Monday evening. So when you wake up in the morning Tuesday, there'll be a tree in the park. That's my goal.
Right, and then eventually, and then maybe the next day or 2 days from then, the rare one, and then hopefully the epic right afterwards. And then all of them occupying a different user vault, but hopefully all of them close by.
Well, I have 3 in the park. You have more than 3 in the park, so we should be in good shape. But yeah, I don't know if people hadn't thought about that. That's a strategy you may want to consider. Another strategy you may want to consider is buy the blueprints, but don't place the trees. If you live in an area with tons of trees and you feel like the drop rates will be good enough that you can get the blueprints from somebody else's tree, then maybe you save those blueprints and sell them in November next year. Sell them in November. How much do you think they go on the auction house for? If you had to pay a red key and however many candy canes...
To start right off with like your rare.
Well, I'm saying if you paid a red key and all those candy canes this year.
Oh, to get the epic.
That's kind of like the epic tree blueprint. That's How much is that tree blueprint worth then? It's got to be worth at least 1,000 keys, right?
Absolutely. You're right.
So then you sell it in November. You should be getting 2 or 3 reds for it.
Oh wow!
And that gives somebody the. Or you keep it in November. Don't sell it. You be the first one to
gets the epic in the very next
get the treasure chest.
But you're also taking the chance that they use the exact same thing with the same trees and all
Yep.
that stuff.
It may end up being worthless. That's another risk. Although Illusion Weaver talked about it, he did mention like, hey, maybe you want to save it for next year. But he did say something along those lines, but he didn't. That's not an explicit promise that it will be the same. You know, things can change at any time. It's still a risk, even if he did confirm. Even if he said, yeah, it'll be the same next year, it could still change.
Cross this key over here.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other strategies you could do with this event. You know, Illusion Weaver kind of outlined them all for us. You know, easy, medium, hard, right? You don't have to do the quest.
Well, so
the chain of blocks, the blockchain quest.
But you and me, and probably most people watching, are going to try to do the whole thing.
Yes.
And that's where I'm thinking, like, all around here there's these user vaults, and Goo does have a couple.
Yeah.
But all the rest are basically people who don't play. Well, Breadward does. But I'm wondering, like, is he going to be able to get a common? Is he going to be able to get a rare? And is he going to put him over here? Or where's he going to put him? Because that's going to matter now. Not just somebody who put, like, Hump Styles, who put down user vaults, and he doesn't play anymore.
Yep.
So it's awesome that the user vaults are there, but now we need an active player.
Yeah, how many active players do we actually have? Not really that many.
Right. Like, if you...
Rain said it would be cool to see the park full of trees instead of user vaults. Yeah, I mean, in a week, if we stream next weekend, I'm guessing we'll have something. Yeah, see, Harris has the right idea. Grinching it up and selling my tree blueprints. That's what I'm thinking. Like,
and
you could really...
that's where I'm like, do I just sell like my first 50 candy canes right away because somebody's going to go nuts for them?
We could just... You could just... Both of us. I shouldn't speak for you, but we're playing as a team kind of because there's a big difference between having two epic trees versus one. I mean, that's a big difference. I mean, we could sell out, right? We could just say, let's grind hard. Let's get as many candy canes and buy the tree blueprints. Maybe not the red one, but the green and the yellow, and sell them off and just cash in lots of keys, and then...
Or just get all the candy canes, never buy any blueprints, and sell 1 million candy canes, but I feel like they're only going to be useful as long as people want to buy the construction blueprints.
Yeah, I mean, who's buying candy canes late in the event when most of the people that wanted the blueprints already got them?
Like when the first, like when we're standing down at the baseball field and running that park, I'm like,
do 12 vaults, put them in the auction house immediately.
Sell the candy canes that you get immediately.
Before anybody knows what they're really worth, hoping that somebody way overpays.
Well, the problem is it'll still take 3 days.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for all the different ways that you can play this event. And I know people are complaining it's too hard. You shouldn't have to pay a red key to get an epic tree. If your definition of succeeding in this event is getting the epic tree, then that's what the cost is. But I don't think that's a good definition for succeeding. Succeeding, it could be any, if you profit off the event, I think you've succeeded.
Marlov, I think it's hard to accept for most that epic in this game truly means epic. Yeah,
for sure.
Anybody coming from another
and I've said it before, and other people have said it before, and Illusion Weaver has said it before, that trying to get everything is an unrealistic goal. It's just unrealistic.
It's time limited because, like, in most games, if I'm playing, like, I don't know, like I would play like God of War or something like that. Mm-hmm. If I want to get everything, it takes me months and months. Mm-hmm. And in this game, it's time limited. You have a week to get all this stuff, and then otherwise you're gonna pay in the auction house. So,
yep.
And I know they say, like, oh well, just save up your keys and buy stuff, but the exact same people who have a hard time doing that are the same people who can't do the event.
Right. Yeah. There's. You just need to make it's a game of choices, right? Everybody says it all the time. It's Illusion Weaver's main catchphrase probably, but you just got to decide which ones are worth it to you and which ones aren't.
I did say, like, if you skip an event, it'll be better than the next event.
I may not spend the red key if it comes out that the prize in the treasure chest is like not so great, not something I'm all that interested in.
Are you not going to be one of the first 10?
Yeah, I mean, especially if I'm not one of the first 10, but like when the first person opens it, I assume they'll share what's in it.
Maybe.
And you might know right off the bat, like, I don't know if that's really worth going through the whole thing.
I can't imagine that.
So you could save your red key, not plan an epic tree, not get the epic blueprint, save all your candy canes, sell them, and then use the money, use the keys that you saved to maybe buy it on the auction house when it comes up.
Right.
I don't know. Choices.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's just in a treasure chest makes people want it.
For sure. But it's only secret until the first person announces it, right? I guess I can jump back in the chat. We're not.
Nowadays expect to just get all epic items in games without effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're used to old school RPG games where you just get an epic just because you played, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if you're not like quote unquote used to that, I'm not a big gamer. I'm not used to that, but I still have that same feeling of, oh, it's not fair. I want to, I was so, and part of being upset was I was competing that month, but I was so mad. I was so mad when I didn't get the fire elemental because I hit, 2,000 volts.
Unbelievable.
How can somebody hit 2,000 volts and not get it? This game's rigged. This isn't fair. That was how I felt. And I expressed that a little bit, but usually after I would say something like that in the chat, I would be like, yeah, but I'm just being whiny. Like that is the game, And some people just don't know. Some people can't keep their emotions in check.
But 2,000 volts that's an inordinate amount to not get the epic.
It is. And you know what? RNG, that's how it goes.
And you bought it, and then you ended up quitting anyway. So
Yep.
you got it.
Yep.
That's where I love to say, oh, because you grinded so hard, you could afford it. But no, you spent even more keys to get all those, all those vaults open.
Yeah. I'm excited about the fact that Christmas is rolling right into New Year's, which is, happens every year. But I mean the event in the game, right? Christmas ends. New Year's Day will be Christmas ends at 7 p.m. on New Year's Eve. Everybody's out at their New Year's Eve parties. Ball's dropping soon, and the Christmas event ends, and the New Year's event starts, and you have 24 hours. So do you hunt New Year's Eve while everybody's out partying? Do you?
I'm assuming the New Year's Eve one will be like a Thanksgiving one.
I hope so.
Kind of get it.
I hope so.
I mean, I didn't hear anybody say, I didn't get that Thanksgiving QB, even though most people got it somehow, some way.
Yeah. With the write-up he did, I really appreciate the work that he put into that, which is funny because I was in there asking him questions and he was like, God damn you, don't you read the article? I was like, I'm sorry, there's a lot in there, I missed some things. But I appreciate all the work that he put into it because he's now going out of his way. In the past, he just kind of gives us some information about the event, but doesn't really tell you the different ways you can play. Now he's trying to beat the complainers to it, right? Because people complain.
But that's what everybody's going.
That easy, medium, hard thing is not new. You've always been able to play that way. Instead of grinding for the blueprint, just get the resources. Sell the resources on the auction. There's other ways to play the game. There's always been. But now he's really drawn attention to that, and I really like that. I think that's good for reminding, those people that they don't have to
proactively get it out there.
Yeah. Smart move.
So you're supposed to. All right. So you're gonna need an elf first.
Yeah.
And then once you get the elf, if you already have the Rudolph, you can rocket ahead. I saw it. I put a bid in on one. I saw yours, and I was like, "Oh crap, you're right." And I put a bid in as we're walking. I got outbid by AIKAMK. If you're a Canadian player.
I think I've seen that.
If I can get back there in time, I will bid again.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know what name you're talking about.
What did you end up paying for the Rudolph?
It wasn't a lot. It didn't phase me. It was 8 weeks ago.
Oh, so it was before all this.
It was Halloween. When the Halloween
cheap.
shit went down.
So it was dirt cheap.
I was like, "Oh, you need the mummy QB," and I'm like, "I got to get the other ones." As it turns out, I didn't get the Santa. I kept trying to chase one, and they kept going too high, and so I only got the Rudolph, and it turns out that's the only one I needed. That.
I was gonna say the Santa was the common, so.
Yep, the Rudolph was just it was more available on the auction house. I think somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Santas have been going for as much or more than the Rudolphs for some reason.
It's weird.
Or at least they had been for the past couple weeks weeks ago, I should say, when I was looking. No.
Like we would know that one's common, one's rare, so.
It could just be resource availability. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea. The reindeer used the antlers, and the Santa used what? Jingle bells? Or uses jingle bells?
Yeah.
I don't know what the drop rates for those look like, or maybe, one player just got a lot of antlers really early on or something. Like, I have no idea, but it was not terribly expensive.
Well, yeah, I'm seeing them for like $250, so anything under that, I'm like, all right, that might be a deal, so we'll see. A couple more days before it has to happen. Or maybe just grind it out and get it quick. I don't know.
Yeah. And somebody made a good point.
You need the rare one anyway, right? You need the rare blueprint. I mean, you need the tree anyway, right? The rare tree.
Yeah. So if you get to the step where you need the Rudolph QB and you already have it, great. Boom. You can hit it and move on to the next step. But the next step...
I think we gotta go... Nah, that's good going.
The next step is getting the rare Christmas tree construction blueprint, but that costs candy canes, and you probably won't have enough candy canes at that point. So you're still going to have to grind for candy canes. So, I'm sorry. Do we have that right? No, you get the rare before. You get the rare before. But the same thing stands. I'm just using the wrong words. It would be the epic. You need enough keys to get the epic. So by the time, or candy canes. By the time you get enough candy canes to get the epic blueprint, you probably will have dropped the Rudolph blueprint anyway. So in that case, you're
probably don't need it.
Planning ahead. Yeah, in that case you don't need it, because unless you don't have the antlers, but by then you should have hit so many rare Christmas trees that you have the blueprint and you have the antlers and you have everything you need.
So then if you're in a big built up area, like if you're in Vancouver or LA, you don't really need any of this.
Right.
Just go around and hit vaults and find the trees.
Yeah. Having the Rudolph in advance only helps you if you're able to get enough candy canes to buy the epic Christmas tree construction blueprint before the Rudolph blueprint drops, which basically you're just like hedging your bets. You're like, well, if I buy this, then if I had bad RNG, at least I'm covered. Like,
right.
So anybody in a dense area that can hit a lot of rare trees, there's no need. There's nothing. It's not really going to help you. So I thought it was like big brained. I was super pumped. Like, yeah, I'm gonna. And as it turns out, it's probably not going to make a difference.
All right. Well, thanks, IKAMK. I'm not going to buy that Rudolph now.
Well, and actually, the nice thing about having it is I can save that blueprint for a competition month. All right, so.
All right, there we go.
That's the chat. We got a car coming. That's the chat. That's the stream.
That's the stream.
That's what I meant to say for the day. I hope everybody appreciates that we did one that's a little bit, probably a lot bit longer than what we normally do. I'm looking forward to the Christmas event, and I'm looking forward to chatting more with you guys in Discord about what it may be. What special features there may be. You got anything you want to say, Beach? You just had a podcast drop, didn't you? Yesterday or day before?
Yeah, it took a little bit to come out, and
I still haven't listened to it.
So now we're no big deal. It's now we're like, we just dropped that, and now we're gonna try to record again like over the weekend and like all this stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, stay tuned.
All right,
stay tuned.
Later, everybody. Did you choose books?
Yeah, and I didn't know. The Outlander series.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it either. I tried to guess. I'm gonna do books again. Who created Jack Ryan? Tom Clancy, baby.